everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Generous.
Where are we at, Jen?
Well, we're down at the Club Tap Room in Fort Morgan, Colorado.
Fort Morgan, Colorado. We're actually filming a few out here today, and this is one of my favorite places to podcast, man.
I absolutely love it down here. It's the hometown feel of a bar with great drinks, great people.
Yeah, it's actually a really mellow bar. That's what I like about it. So the music doesn't get too loud. The drinks are great. Jen actually and I are having some Bloody Mary today.
Bloody Marys in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah, that's okay. It's not a problem until we have like 8, right? Is that the level 8?
It's not a problem till it's a problem.
It's not a problem until it's a problem. And we have a guest today.
Yes, we do. And I'm so excited because if anybody ever wants to physically watch the show, we have a little hot baby on here today. This is my best friend Trisha's one of her twin daughters, Allie Stroh.
Yes. Hi, guys.
What's up, Allie? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm on a bucket list to get everybody in your bloodline on this podcast eventually.
Yes.
So
Yes, we're getting there.
yeah, you and your sister will be doing it today, so we're almost there.
I also need to mention that she's also the daughter of the owner, Ryan and Christine.
Yes.
So,
The
how
heir-
rude of me.
The heir to the Club Tap Room fortune, right?
Heiress to the Club Tap.
I see you all the time at Edwards. We start talking about you doing the podcast, so
Yes.
I'm always like, got your stories, and
Yeah, I actually switched it up last minute, too.
Did you?
So I thought I did, and then,
happens quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, though. They start questioning. Was it hard for you to pick the stories?
a little bit. I
Really?
feel like my life's not super interesting, but I finally had to dig deep into
Allie?
the stories.
This is like episode 100, I think 106 or something. I've heard that so many times from so many people, like, I don't know if my stories are good. And then they always come on, and
Yeah.
it's always a good time. So people are interesting. You never know,
Right.
Oh, you're an amazing artist.
Well, thank you.
Really?
Yes, she is.
The police car that Tim Malone was driving for a little while, I think Gagliano drives it now, the school resource officer car.
okay.
Yeah, I helped design that,
Oh, really?
along with some other kid.
That's cool. Like painting artist or like graphic artist, or how do you?
Well, they gave us a sheet of paper that was the model of the car, which was a Charger of some kind.
Right.
And you just drew on it, and they just turned it into a sticker.
And it,
Yeah,
you
a wrap,
ended
yeah.
up like waves, like American flag waves? Or
Yes.
Yes, it has
I
like an
can't
American
quite
flag,
remember.
a Mustang logo, and then like a police officer flag on it too somewhere.
Very nice.
Very cool. They put the Mustang logo on there for the local high school.
Yeah.
Is that you?
I can't really remember. I think I did the hood, part of the side, and then like the mirrors and the top of the car.
Oh, that's very cool.
And then the other kid did like basically the flag on the side of it, and I can't really remember. I don't want to take credit away from him, but he did quite a bit of it too, and it was really fun. It was cool. I remember getting a call to his office, and I was really nervous. I didn't know what it was about, but yeah.
Who's the other kid?
I don't even know his name, to be honest. He was younger than me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna give him credit, but hey, other
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, other kid. Good job.
Thumbs up, other kid. So, no, that's very cool. That was in high school then.
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
junior.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
very cool. That's cool. They selected you for that.
What's that?
You got selected for that though.
Yeah.
How did you?
The whole school was able to do it, and
Oh.
then they just went through all these papers with, and they just chose the best one.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you keep up with the artist thing now?
Not really.
No.
No, I haven't done it in forever. I
That's
won
cool.
the art show a couple years back, maybe 3 years back now. But it was a painting I made freshman year, and I just redid it.
What was it of?
G-Easy.
G-Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really cheesy. Really
okay.
cheesy looking back. I'm like, oh, that was cringy.
Did
But
you call it Cheesy? G-Easy?
I think I named it one of his album names.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. Took the easy way out.
He's a white rapper, right? Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
Are you a Bieber fan?
He's okay. I was.
Do you make fun of Brady quite a bit for being a Bieber fan?
No.
No.
No shame. We grew up with that. So,
All right. What a good girlfriend.
yeah.
That's right. We forgot to mention a couple episodes back we did Brady. This is his lady.
2 weeks
Yes.
ago, was
Brady lady.
yeah. And he went first because I said, which one of you are going first? And you and your sister are like, Brady.
Brady.
He's like, oh, am I?
I know. I wanted to go first, and I was like, no. We're just going to see how his goes first.
See if it sets on fire.
Yeah.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. What we do on this podcast is we bring on a guest. Today is Allie Stroh. Allie's going to tell us 3 stories about her life. Now, here's the kicker. Only two of these stories are true. One's actually a either borrowed, made up, or partially made up story. Now, without going into great detail, Allie, which is it? Is it borrowed story, made up, or partway made up?
Partway made up.
Partway, that is by far the most popular way to do it. So it makes it a little tough too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've watched a few of these podcasts.
Yes.
How are you at guessing them?
It's actually a little hard.
Yeah.
I watched Jenny's and I watched obviously my dad's and Christine's.
Sure,
and
sure.
Even some of theirs, I was like, I have no idea. I guess Christine's because I was like, there's no way she's driving drunk.
Right.
Like, there's no way that's
Right.
her. But other than that, I didn't really guess them.
Actually, Christine's made the best of. You picked her from one.
I picked Christine's best
Yeah.
of from when she ditched that guy at the Hard Rock Cafe. I think that's so
I knew that
funny.
one. That one's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to pick Ryan's. There's so many good ones to pick from.
I know.
I love the episode of the best of, but I hate it too because picking three stories or two stories from 50-some people is so
Right.
hard. But your dad's story about the porn going to his bananas, right? That was fantastic.
I know.
So
And I had no idea about that one. So I was
Really?
like, what?
yeah, Dad, you
Yeah.
watch porn? He's like,
Yeah.
shit, are you kidding? The closet you're not allowed to go into as a child?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's his fucking weird closet. So sorry, Ryan, to rat you out, buddy. Love you. All right. Were you ready to tell some stories?
Yes.
All right. Jen, you want to read them off?
Were they this or
The middle
this?
one.
The middle ones.
Okay. So we have, I wasn't listening earlier. I'm very sorry.
you're
Spaced
fine.
out.
Slack
We
you
have
are.
Children of the Corn.
Dith the ducky.
Ditch
Ditch the ducky.
Ditch the ducky.
Ditch the ducky. And In the Dumps
In
are
the
our three
Dumps.
stories.
You and I are like playing literate people today, aren't we?
Yes.
I totally messed up Brady's too.
Well, I think I need reading glasses. You brought yours, I see.
You want to see mine? You can see through walls with these, man.
Oh.
I'm super blind.
I want
man.
to see through walls.
I'm super blind. It's
I'm going to
awful.
borrow those.
You know what? You can.
I'm going to be outside your door later, people.
It's weird looking at everybody's junk, though. You know what I'm saying? Because it sees through everything. It's that fucking strong. Well, not for me, but for you. So, all right. So, Children of the Corn, Ditch the Ducky, and In the Dumps. Jen, you picked last time. You mind if I pick first this time?
Yes, I still want to hear In the Dumps, but
That's
I
what you
love...
wanna hear?
No. I'm going with Children of the Corn because I
Children of the
love the
Corn?
movie.
Okay.
Okay. I've actually never seen the movie. So
What?
it just really fit the story, I felt like. So
Okay.
I'll have to watch it. But so one night we were all just hanging out with our friends. This is Maddie. I don't know if I want to say names, but Garrett and Brody. We were all hanging out.
We
like-
want names.
Okay. Yeah, so Garrett, Maddie, Brody, and I were all friends at the time. We usually go cruising around out in the middle of nowhere all the time.
What's up, Garrett and Brody, by the way?
Yes, hi guys.
We don't know you, so you guys are lucky.
So yeah, we just went out cruising and we're like, hey, there's a couple parties tonight. Like, which ones do we go to? And Brody and I couldn't make up our minds. There was one out in the country and then there was one way out. I don't even know where it was. I wish I had like a road for you guys to visualize it, but I have no idea. And I wanted to go to, we'll call him Jake's party. I wanted to go to Jake's party because everybody that I knew and was friends with was going to be there.
Right.
And Brody wanted to go, we'll call this person Billy.
Okay.
He wanted to go to Billy's party. And we were like, no, we can't decide. I think we did a coin flip and ended up being Billy's party. I was like, I have no idea where this is. Like, I'm pretty sure this house was like a ran down meth house. So we got there. I think it was like, I want to say 20 minutes outside of town, out by kind of like Jackson Lake, but at least another 25 minutes away from Jackson Lake.
Right.
And so we're like, well, this seems pretty safe. It's out in the middle of nowhere. So we're all out there having a good time. The house has literally no drywall. It's like all wood. It burnt down. But I don't know, it's just complete shithole, I guess.
So the house is already burned, and it's just become
Yeah,
like
you
a
can see
trap
through the
house, like a
walls,
party
yeah.
house.
You can see through the walls. There's no door.
But people
Nothing.
reside there.
Yeah, well, there was like a beer pong table in there, and that's about it.
That's the best
And-
one because what are you gonna break, right?
Exactly.
Have a good time. Go
Yeah,
wild.
nobody's touching ya.
Yeah, fuck it.
So yeah, we were out there, and then they even had a campfire. I was like, this is stupid. We're having a campfire where there was a house that was already burnt down, and there was like there's weeds everywhere. There was no grass, nothing.
Campfire
like,
next to a kindling farm.
Yeah, I already knew in my gut. I was like, there's no way that this place isn't gonna get busted. There's no way.
Right.
And so we get there, and we're out by the campfire. Garrett's inside playing beer pong. I don't even know where Maddie was at this point, but Brody and I were out there by the campfire, and we're just like, we're about ready to go home. Like, let's go get Garrett. We're gonna go home and just call it a night. And by this time, it was probably already like I don't know, 11:30, I would say. And we saw a Charger on the dirt road, and they were turning, and we're like, Brody and I look at each other, and we're like, oh no, that's not right. Like, we're just overthinking it. Flips a U, comes over, turns on their lights, and it's a cop.
Oh no.
And we're like, oh, we're gonna go get Garrett. He said side-blank beer pong. He's like, give me a few minutes. We're like, no, the cops are here. We gotta dip.
I'm on a roll. The cops can wait.
Hootie hoo, man. Hootie hoo. Let's go. Yeah.
I know. And I was like, Garrett, unlock the truck. We're leaving. He's like, no, we're not getting in the truck.
Right.
We dart towards the corn. Straight to the corn. We're just like watching the whole scene happen. More cops show up. And they're coming out, and I think they have dogs and all these types of things. We're like, oh shit, they're gonna sniff us out, so we have to go further into the corn. And at this point, we're with several people I don't even know, and we're all holding hands through the corn, like, so that way we're not losing each other. And
right.
I'd say this was like the summertime, so the corn was at least pretty tall at the time and alive. So we're all out there in the mud. Oh my gosh, the night before it was raining,
right.
And we're all out there holding hands like in a train.
Right,
like this.
right.
And so corn's in our eyes.
Corn
we're like,
train.
Yes. So into the story, we're all in the corn, and it's cutting our eyes. And we're all having our eyes closed. We're all walking with our heads down, and
drinking. And you've been drinking at this point, right? So
I don't drink.
Okay.
So I wasn't drinking. I was sober, but if my friends are going and I don't have the keys to the pickup, I'm not staying.
Right.
So, oh my goodness, I'm getting tangled up.
But they were drinking.
Yes.
But were you leading the train?
No.
Somewhere in the middle.
I was holding strangers' hands at this
Thank
point.
goodness
I don't
for
know who
cornrows.
they.
Blind leading the blind. Yeah.
We had our whole group with us, but I couldn't even tell you how long we were in the corn for. We were in the corn at least walking for, I'd say, 30 minutes to an hour in the corn.
Right.
We finally get out of the corn, and where are we? We're at Jackson Lake. Almost.
So you walked straight down one row across an entire field of corn.
Yes.
To hide from the cops.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that at Jackson Lake.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, and so we make it all the way out to Jackson Lake, but we're not at the lake part, right? So we're on the property, and we're just like, we need to get to the lake. And then I'm calling Caleb, my little sister's boyfriend. I'm like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like, sorry to wake you. And at this point, it's probably like 3:30 in the morning.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, that's fine. So they get up and they go out to Jackson Lake, and they're parked there and waiting for us. And we're like, okay, well, it might be another 15, 20 minutes. We don't know. Well, it turns out there's cops at Jackson Lake because they knew all these kids were running to Jackson Lake. So we're like, we gotta find a different plan. We're out by the porta potties and stuff, and we're all just sitting there like, what do we do?
Right.
And so we come across a barbed wire fence. We cross it. Garrett slashes his arm open, and we have to stop and bandage it and tie a t-shirt around it.
Right.
And so we end up on another dirt road. I really wish I had coordinates for you guys, because you'd be like, holy shit, they ran a ton. But no, we ended up in a ditch, because every car that passed by, we were just jumping in the ditch because we were too afraid of getting caught.
Right.
So we were dumping in ditches, and we ended up on a paved road, and finally we were rescued by Garrett. Somebody took him back to the party to grab a pickup. But
Nice.
yeah, these cops, and even the cops rolled up to Alyssa and Caleb's pickup, and we're like, what are you guys here for? And they're like, oh, we were just out here, looking at the water.
Make it out.
Yeah, we're just out here. Don't ask questions.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Make out sesh.
Yeah.
Beat it, pig.
Yeah, but by the time I'd say we got into the pickup, it was 5:30 in the morning.
Oh no.
That's how long we were running.
Was
in
there
the corn and
that mud in a cornfield. Have you ever had to run through a cornfield after a
I had
rainstorm?
brand new Air Force ones too.
Oh.
White ones.
no.
And your
Yeah.
feet are like they're.
Yeah, at this point I was like, I'm about ready to surrender. My shoes are ruined.
Yeah.
I'm crying. My eyes are cut.
Yeah.
So I give up. My shoes are ruined.
My shoes are ruined. They're $90, guys. Yeah, and I didn't even want to go to this party in the first place. That was the crappy thing about it. And I was like, if we would have went to Jake's party, we would have been just fine.
Fuck you,
Just
Billy.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more coin flips. Was there water in the ditch?
Yeah, there
Even
was.
worse.
So we had to avoid the water as much as
Oh,
possible.
you
And
didn't jump in the water. Okay.
no, thank God. It was really deep too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
the
someone
big
drowns.
Morgan ditch runs all along the side of the
Yeah.
lake right
Right.
there.
Probably that one then.
Yeah.
And it was so hard not to fall into it because it was really steep. So
Where was your high school hangout for parties?
North Shore, Jackson Lake.
Really?
Yeah, and we got cops all the time chasing us down. Night before my state boards of beauty school, I had to stand in line, and depending on age, they gave you a ticket for minor in possession or contributing.
Mm.
And I ended up taking my state boards after rolling into my mom's house at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, let's go do this on your hair. Let's pass my state board for beauty school. She's screaming at me the whole way. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Right.
I'm surprised I didn't get any questions asked. I think I went back to my mom's house and she was probably already out asleep.
She's probably done it. She's probably done it too. Sorry, Trisha.
Yeah, sorry, Trisha. We're just having fun.
Does she know the story?
Probably not.
She does now.
She knows our senior K year was the same way. So
yeah. We did Pruitt Reservoir. That's where we hung out. The Brush Kids.
I've never been there.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's not a nice. It's better now. It used to be like all green and stuff because the cows would like go out there in the winter and then fall through the ice and horrible. But yeah, I've slept on that beach a few times.
And drown?
Oh yeah, they die, and then there's just cow parts in there. Yeah, it was horrible back in the 90s. In the magical time,
a great place to dump a body.
But you know what? The wildlife guy, I won't say his name. He was a great dude. He'd always tell, if he came across our party, he'd tell us as long as it's cleaned up and you guys are staying here, he wouldn't say shit. It was awesome. Yeah, he was really cool about it. You know, if we left a mess, and he took all our license plates down, and he knew us. His kid was our age. You know what I mean? So, but as long as we cleaned everything up and nobody drove home, he's like, we're good. So,
but I'll be waiting to get you the minute you drive.
Yeah.
That's that is cool. And, and the cops almost have to let country us rural children do that because,
or just
as long as we behave responsibly,
they're contained. It was pitch black one night, so dark out there. And Norm Schneider, what's up, Norm? I had one of those little saws, like the rope saws, where two people hold it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna chop down a live tree because that's the best thing to burn, right?
Yeah.
You mean one of those giant things?
No,
they use
it's like it's almost like a rope saw, like
a garrote for
kind of like almost like it looks like a bike chain almost. You know what I mean? And,
okay, I gotcha.
I think I know what you're talking
about.
about.
I gotcha.
I saw it down this tree, so dark out, and I hear it start to tip, but it's dark and I'm drunk and I can't tell which way it's tipping. So I scream, "Run!" Right? So you hear two voices just screaming like little girls. I think I ran that way. He ran
like
that way,
Hangover.
and it fell this way.
Or not the Hangover.
Yeah.
Grown Ups.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
That, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
That scene.
I haven't seen it.
That's kind of funny. I don't know what they throw up in there, but they're like, okay, now spread out. It's like a game to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
It's kind of reminds me of.
Well, you got back to the campfire there. Who was screaming like Norm, pussy? Because I beat him back. So yeah, that's on him. So yeah, it's I think that's a staple of rural kids in high school, man.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of guys would say my friend Chris Danielson got his eyeball eaten out by an owl out of Jackson Lake.
What?
What?
Have me back, I'll tell you the story.
What's
up, Chris? One eye.
He passed out and an owl ate his eye?
He didn't pass out. One of my other friends, I'll just tell it now because it's quick. One of my friends was peeing. We were partying at the North Shore, Kager at the North Shore. One of my friends was peeing near a tree. We were out there having a smoke break. One of them was throwing rocks at an owl. My friend was peeing at the tree.
Him off?
Pissed off the owl. The owl swooped down when my friend was taking a piss and ripped his eyeball out of the side of his head.
What happened afterwards? He just...
My friend now has a glass eye, and the owl probably still lives at the North Shore, is my guess.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Chris lives down in Florida now with his wife Lisa. But yeah, we were party kids out there, but I'll never forget that night.
I guess if somebody was throwing rocks at me, I'd probably tear off
Yeah,
my
yeah.
eyeball
If you,
too, so, yeah.
if you had talents, makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
For sure, I kind of have talents. So,
And why not
yeah.
take the one that's vulnerable? He's got his dick in his hands.
And he's pissing
go-
on your house.
Yeah, don't
he's
go with-
pissing on your
Yeah,
house.
literally.
Yeah, don't
So-
go with the guy with the rocks. Go with the one that's got the non-rocks.
So I thought you said at first he ate his eye out.
Or just took it.
Oh,
I'm assuming
'cause I-
he ate it. Why wouldn't you
That's
eat
scary, though, because I've seen an owl just... You know, we used to go abandoned house hunting all
Sure.
the time. And it was, like, in a well. Like, and we were, like, all looking down in there. I'm glad that didn't happen to me. So now, lesson learned. I will not
They're
be
not
staring and
nice.
pissing off owls.
Although you could have done that, like you said, the cornfield. It's sharp. You can cut yourself running through
Yeah.
those things. It's not. People think it's. You see it in the movies all the time. People running through cornfields. You're like, that's not how
It's
that works.
no, you're for sure getting
Yeah.
it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get lacerated, man. So that was a great story, man. What do you think?
Well, I think that was a great story and totally believable because we've all lived it just
Yeah.
in two different lakes,
Right.
local lakes.
Right. We'll see. Like I just met Brady for the first time doing the podcast. I know your family for a while. I know we know each other, but not really well. You know what I mean? I've done every Stroh cruise run wedding for forever. So
I like how he stopped it. I've done every Stroh.
Well, and I just remember around here when Maddie and I
Wedding.
were like really little, you
Yeah.
would deliver Pepsi and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I remember
that's
just
right.
standing by the back door. So
I've known your dad and your uncle for way too long. So
yeah.
Ryan and Rick Stroh's sons of bitches. I don't. But
We love you guys.
yeah, they're great. I love them.
Yeah.
And poor Rick Stroh gets such shit on this podcast. That poor guy. He always gets it. It's always a Rick Stroh. Like Juan Aiel is coming out this week, next Tuesday. Juan Aiel's and Rick's got a story, of course, in there. Rick Stroh's like a Bullhucker legend's what he is. So, all right. Well, that's a great story. Like I said, I don't know you well enough to see if you have tells or not. We'll see on the second one. So, but it was a pretty great story. I liked it. So, you picked that one, Jen. So I'm gonna pick the next one. That's the one I'd have picked for last because of the name of the story. I like horror stuff. I thought it was a horror thing.
I love horror. That's why I went first.
And Children of the Corn is a freaky movie.
I'll have to watch it. I was
You
just like,
need
it's
to
a
watch
perfect
it.
name. We were in the corn for a majority of the time, so
My friend CJ was a homeschooler, and his mom Sherry used to take us out to the cornfield with like the star maps. They used to have like little cardboard cutouts where you can match them up, and then it told you
sure.
what star you're looking at. CJ and I had watched Children of the Corn a week before that. We shouldn't have watched it. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea to show two young children that movie. And I tell you what, I watched no stars that day. I sat there staring at the corn.
we'll see. And
Like-
it sucks. I would love to watch a horror movie, but Brady refuses to watch anything
Really?
horror with
Does
me.
he get scared?
He's probably gonna be really mad that I said that. But yeah, I have
Brady,
to
we
watch
know all
everything
your
that's
secrets
scary
now.
by myself, and I'm like, why would I want to watch it by myself? Because
Come watch with me.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
You now have a
Okay,
horror
I
buddy.
will.
Yeah. Do you watch all the Travel Channel stuff, like all the haunting stuff, or no?
I used to.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, not into it. I love that shit. I can't get enough of it. So, I like to get freaked out. My younger sister, my baby sister, also that way loves horror shit. So when she was a little girl, because we're 14 years apart, that's what her and I would do to bond. We'd watch all the horror
All the
shit,
horror
and
stuff, yeah.
she's a trooper, man. She doesn't get freaked out. So, all right. So you picked Children of the Corn. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with In the Dumps so we can hear the other one last. In the Dumps. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like this one because it was a really good time actually. So Maddie and I were going to Miami. It was like 2 summers ago. Yeah, it was 2 summers ago. And we were going to Miami, and I'm already afraid of planes. Like, I'm terrified. But we made it there. It was great. We went there for the Miami TikToker versus YouTuber fights. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It was like a super viral thing at the time. So we were there watching Bryce Hall and Austin McBroom kick each other's asses, basically.
Cool.
And it was really fun. So we were in the Miami Dolphins Stadium.
Oh, it's an actual fight.
Who are
Yeah,
these?
boxing match.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here
okay.
I'm thinking it's famous YouTubers and TikTokers going for
Austin McBroom was
social
apparently.
media glory.
Yeah. So they had beef. So they're like, let's create a boxing match out of all these creators that have beef. And
Nice.
yeah, so we just went there for,
I didn't know
8
that's what you
boxing
guys went
matches.
out there for. I remember when you went out.
yeah. So we were out there just, seeing all these famous influencers fight, And so we were there, and it was time to come home. We're at the Miami airport.
Oh, those two guys, they're influencers, not sports people.
Not sports people, influencers. Yeah.
Oh, you have to help us elderly people along
Yeah,
here
you
a
probably
little
don't know who
bit.
these people are. You
Yeah.
can Google them.
They're
It's really
social
funny.
media influencers.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say so. They're nobody like super famous.
One's
at all.
on TikTok and one's on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we do all that, and then we come home like 3 days later. We wake up, and the weather's just dumping rain.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I do not want to fly in this. I already have anxiety. The
Right.
whole day, I will not talk to anybody if I have to get on a flight. I love traveling, but it's the whole, okay, I will talk once I land because I am
Right.
just terrified of heights. I hate flying. So the whole day, I'm just quiet because it's like dumping rain. And I was like, I really hope this clears up before we jump on this flight.
And you're not a drinker, you said, so
No.
there's no having a few shots to get okay.
Right. And everybody tells me that. They're like, well, do you try to drink? And I'm like, no, I don't drink. I don't drink.
I got to make sure Brady gets home alive.
Yeah, they're like, well, do you try Xanax? And I'm like, no. Because
Yeah.
my anxiety will,
Sure.
just not good.
Right.
And so I'm like, "Ugh, I'll just stay quiet. I'm fine. I'll take my Dramamine and I'll just mind my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the airport and, obviously our flight keeps getting delayed. And we're like, this is awesome. Like, I've never seen rain like this. It's dumping rain.
Right.
And we're calling our mom. We're like, what do we do? Like, what if our flight gets canceled? Because over the intercom, you just keep hearing, like, this flight canceled. This one is canceled, just back to back. And I'm crying already. I'm just bawling my eyes out. And Maddie's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you crying already? We know nothing. Like, just chillax. Like, stop being a baby. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just cry in peace. Put in my headphones.
I'll just cry
I just cry in peace. I won't even look at you, okay?
Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there crying. Maddie's just minding her own business, listening to her music, too. And then, the next thing you know, we don't even have a gate for ours. And I was like, this shit's getting canceled. And her and I are broke. We cannot afford another night in Miami.
Right.
We spent way too much money coming out here in the first place. And we're like, we can't afford anything. So we call our mom, and our mom's like, well, don't get on the plane if it's going to be, terrifying. Or if they cancel it, we'll figure it out. And she was, expecting us to still pay for it. And we're like, Trisha, I only have $500 in my account right now. Maybe that'll give us, a really shitty place to stay. But you've never been to Miami. You don't know. I don't know anywhere safe around here.
Yeah, right.
And the Miami airport's already small and ghetto as is.
It's a nightmare.
Yes, and there's nobody there too. And to top it off, Southwest lost connection between everybody in the air, landing, and communications between airports. Southwest lost communication everywhere. And we're like, well, this is another cherry on top,
Right.
And so we're like, yeah, there's definitely no way we're getting on this flight. Maddie starts crying this time. And when she starts crying, I start to panic too, because she kind of holds everything together. And I was like, oh shit, she's crying. And so we're calling our grandpa instead. Our grandpa's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about
Grandpa Cal to the rescue.
Grandpa Cal to the rescue. And so we're waiting in line because we only see one employee. We don't see anybody except for the one lady that just happens to pop up behind the desk. And you see all these people rushing to this desk because they're like, we're gonna need to change this flight and this flight. And we're like, I just wish we can get a rental car. We're not old enough to get it yet. And otherwise we'd just start driving.
How old are you in this?
We're 20. Well, we were 21 at the time. We're 23 now.
Okay.
And so we were just like, this sucks. Because we were hearing the other girl, sitting next to us. We're like, yeah, I'm just going to get a rental car, and I'm just going to head home to you guys. And we're like, I'm so jealous of you. But, so they lost connection, and everybody's freaking out. We don't have a gate. Our plane's not even here. They have no idea. We ask an employee, where's our gate? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Right.
So we're just sitting on the floor. We gave up in being in line. The line was not moving. There was a guy acting out in the middle of the line. A cop tackles him because he's just acting out of whack. He's freaking out too. So her and I are sitting on the floor. We're like, I guess we wait. And we're talking to people who are also on our flight. And they're like, yeah, we have no idea where we're at, our gate's at. And we're still just bawling our eyes out at this point. And we're sitting there with our luggage. And some guy comes up and just steals Maddie's luggage.
What?
Yes. And he steals it, and then he starts walking away, and we're like, excuse me, that's not your bag. And the cop that was previously dealing with his own shit comes over, and he's like, okay, excuse me, you're gonna have to give that luggage back. And he refused. He's like, this is mine. I need to get home. And he full-blown tackles him too, and we finally get our luggage back. But moral of the story, we get on the flight. I'm panicking because it's pouring rain. I'm surprised they didn't, but still no connection between Southwest. But the lady that was actually gonna be getting a rental car was like, oh yeah, this happens all the time. I work for Southwest. I was
and
like,
that
what?
is why Southwest just went under. Didn't they just go under?
I think
So,
there are
yeah.
problems, yeah.
Thank God we made it home safe. But
Yeah.
it was a hectic day in the Miami airport. Maddie and I are like, we are never flying out of Miami ever again.
Dude, it's tough in an airport when that kind of shit happens.
Yeah.
I had a friend in Louisiana. His wife came and picked me up in Houston. because it was cheaper to get me there, and it was like a 2-hour drive to Lake Charles. And when they sent me home, we went to Mardi Gras. And so instead of driving me all the way back to Houston, he's like, I'm just going to put you on a plane from New Orleans to Houston. So his wife, Crystal, my good friend, what's up, Chris? Books a flight for me. Very nice of her. Sends me to the wrong airport.
Oh, no.
So I come to find out there's 2 airports in Houston. There is Hobby Airport, and then there's George Bush International. Well, she picked me up from George Bush International. But my Hobby, because that's where I came in, but leaving was a Hobby. I didn't realize there was a difference, because you get on Expedia, just like, get me there and here cheap, right?
Yeah.
So I get to George Bush International. I'm looking, I can give a tour of that fucking place now, right? I'm going to every wing, and I'm like, I can't remember what, we'll say Southwest, whatever it was. I'm like, where's the Southwest terminal? They're like, try E-wing. I'm like, it's not an E-wing, F-wing, it's not on any wing, you know. Finally, I come to the last girl, and I feel bad because I unloaded on her, because at this point, my flight leaves in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. You're like,
Right.
I need to go.
And I'm like, where is the fucking, you know, and she's like, that's a Hobby. I go, I don't know what that means. That was all in English, but I have no clue what that means.
You're
What's
a
that?
Hobby Lobby, or
She goes, you're in the wrong airport. And I go, I'm in Houston, right? We're in Houston. This is Houston, Texas. And she's like, yeah. I go, fine. Where's Hobby? She's like 45 minutes through town. And I'm like, son of a... So I had to call my buddy and say, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I was kind of broke at the time too. So God bless you. What's up, Tim? Just so love you, buddy. He ends up getting me a shuttle to that airport for the next morning, but we go through the rough part of Houston. And he got me a hotel room so I can get a couple hours of sleep.
Well, that's good.
But as we're going to the shuttle, there's the lady with a southern accent next to me going home. And I said, I was so hungry at this point, because when I left the secure area of George Bush International, you can't go back in because I don't have a ticket. I have a Hobby ticket, right? I leave and I tell the guy, I'm like, there's a McDonald's right there, man. If I give you money, can you just go get me a hamburger? He's like, no. I'm like, I hope something happens to you, man. You know, anyway, so we're in the shuttle, and I'm like, oh, there's a gas station. I'm just gonna walk over there and grab something. She's like, oh no, honey, don't walk out here. Nah, they'll kill you. I was like, well, shit. She's like, just order pizza. I'm like, the pizza guy's safe though. He's like, got some kind of like. You know,
What makes you think you can trust the pizza guy?
he's got deals with the Houston mob.
Yeah. He's like a dignitary or something. Like he's safe. Like no one's gonna touch him. Like, but whatever, you know.
Dom,
So
the dignitary.
yeah. But I mean, but I'm with you. I started to panic because I'm like, I had to get to work like the next day or the day after the next day. So what do you do, right, Allie? You're freaking out because there's nothing. I'm kind of broke at this time too.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm already afraid of flying. So,
Right.
and I refuse to eat the entire time until I land. I'm like so weird about it, and it's just I can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking. So ever since that trip when I've been on a plane, my anxiety kind of goes up too. Of getting, I go super early. I'm that guy now.
You're more of the type of person that's like, I gotta be on time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because dude, that sucked. That was because I'm in this strange city. I don't know where. You know.
Exactly.
Granted, you're 2 young women. You know, I'm a big ogre looking fucker. No one's gonna. They might mug me, but there's
You
no.
never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, maybe they got a weird thing. So, but yeah, no, I relate to that story very much. So, yeah.
I do too. I gotta ask, is this the trip where you guys were posting jumping off the roof and the pillars, nice ass Airbnb you were at to the pool?
No, it's actually a whole separate one.
Okay.
We actually drove to Florida that time.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not Maddie's and I's first trip, you know, to Florida together. It was actually our 3rd or 4th. It's not like it's our first, you know, air trip or airport story, but
Gotcha.
this one just happened to stick out and be the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's easy, don't forget.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's kind of hilarious because it's first world problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what, you're fairly safe. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
you know, as much as we've heard about Miami, I was like, this just doesn't sound like a very safe place.
No, hell no, dude.
It's
No,
not.
I loved it. It was beautiful, but
Right.
not as safe as we felt in Orlando or Tampa.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. Not as safe as we found the putt-putt golf course capital of the world of Orlando.
Right.
Yeah, and Miami's a different place, man.
What do you think about that one, Jen?
I also felt that was totally believable.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of details on that one, though.
Right.
And I don't remember your mom ever talking about it. So
Really?
that's one of my first red flags, but it's not like we sit around like teenage girls
Yeah.
and share everything going on in our lives about everything. So
Well,
It's true.
it wasn't as traumatic for their mother either. So it was,
Yeah, she was like, "You guys will be fine."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like Allie, I know she has anxiety about flights. She'll get over it.
but
Yeah.
that's also, I think your mom would get on it to help you.
Oh, you think?
Baby,
I don't know.
don't know.
Sometimes,
Trisha, do I
maybe.
not
You
know
never
you
know.
as well as
You
I
never
thought
know.
I knew you?
I think she tried. It's not that she didn't help. She tried. She
right.
gave advice, and it's like, well, thanks, Trish. That
she's
didn't really
good for
help.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got one more story. Ditch the ducky.
Yes. Okay. Sounds a little funny, but you'll get the point at the end. Well, mid-story, I guess. But one day, Alyssa and I went out with friends once again, and it was super hot, summertime. And we're like, let's float the South Platte River. Obviously, first off, disgusting. I would never do it again.
Right.
But I don't. A group of friends, we'll just call her Josie,
Josie.
drove us out there, and we were outside, like on 144. We went out on 144, stopped at a bridge, like maybe 15, 20 miles outside of town. We're like, yeah, this looks like a good place to get off at. So we had a big floaty that was a rubber ducky floaty, and they also had a different one. We had like 4 guys with us and us 2 girls, and we're like, okay, we'll sit on the floaties, 3 people each, because these were huge floaties, so it could fit 3 people. And we're like, yeah, so we have all of our snacks, our drinks,
Right.
Flip-flops are all in one. We even have our own floaty for like a cooler. And so
Professionals.
yes, and we
Yes.
have all of our shoes in that one, and we're like, okay, we're ready to go. And we were only wearing swimming suits, and we left our other clothes in the pickup. And so we're all out there listening to music and on our phones, just having a relaxing floating day. And so, I don't know, I'd say like 3 hours into the float, we're like, we are not moving much. Like we have been on this water forever at this point.
Right.
And
Like at this point, you should be in North Platte, Nebraska.
yeah, we should be like in
Yeah,
log
right.
lane by now, and we are not. We don't even know. We're like, we should be seeing. I think there's like a tube that drains into there. We hadn't even seen that yet, and we're like, we're far away. Like we realized we were not even close, and our destination was supposed to be Riverside. We had somebody's vehicle waiting there to
Oh, cool.
take us back to the pickup, and we're just like, we're not even close. So we're just like, okay, we'll just wait a little bit. At this point, we can barely see Alyssa, like my little sister, and like the 2 other guys that she was with, and we're like, well, just don't go too far ahead of us. Like they were zooming, and we were just like lagging. I don't know
Right.
if our ducky was a lot heavier than theirs, but they were flying.
Just cruising, man. Just
Yeah,
cruising.
And
Yeah.
there comes a point where I'm like, I can't see my little sister anymore. I was like, she's gone. And we're like, okay, well, we're gonna get off and we're gonna see where we're at. Like, we're gonna just check and see how much longer we are. And then somebody checks and they're like, well, I have no idea where we're at, guys. Like, we are far away from Riverside at this point. So we're like, screw it, let's get off. We're gonna start walking and see if we can call for a ride. And at this point, we have my little sister's and the 2 other guys' phones and shoes. And we're like, well, we're going to try and find them. And we keep walking down the river. We can't find them. But we get off and we're like, okay, this rubber ducky is too heavy to carry. So we deflate it. We ditch it. We get rid of the rubber ducky. And we're carrying everything else. I have Alyssa's shoes, her phone. Nobody has a phone except for
shit.
us. But mine's dead. Hers is off. I can't even get into her phone. I don't know her passcode, right?
About how old is Alyssa now?
She'll be 21 in March.
No, I mean during the story. Sorry.
I'd say 16, 17
So
at
she's
this
still a
point. Yeah, this
kid,
was
yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's barefoot, and we have no idea where they are still at this point. So we end up in this area. I have no idea where it is. I know where it's at now. It's in Muir Springs. We ended up
Oh, jeez.
getting in Muir Springs. I was like, I've never seen this place before. Like, this is, and if you've ever been down there, it doesn't look like Fort Morgan. You know,
No.
it's kind of pretty. And I'm like, we look like we're kind of in the mountains right now. It's like,
Right.
it's kind of pretty over here, and we see people camping and with their 5-wheelers, and we're like, hey, like, where's the road from here? Because we have no idea where we're at.
Right.
They're like, it's up that way. And we're like, okay. So we just start making our way towards the road, and we're still walking at this point. I think I'm missing a shoe, so I have one shoe on, one shoe off. And we're all, like 2 girls in a bathing suit and one other guy that I barely know, that we're just like walking on the side of the street, like waiting for somebody. And Dylan Heisel, thank goodness, I think he works at the
He's a sheriff now.
sheriff. Yeah. He passes by and he happens to see us on the side of the road.
What's up, Dylan?
And he was like, "Do you guys need a ride?" And we're like, "Yes, please." And so we get to Riverside, and I'm like, "Well, I still haven't seen Alyssa and Brayden yet." And we're going to call the other kid Jimmy.
Okay.
We haven't found Jimmy yet either. I was like, well, Alyssa and Brayden have to be somewhere close. Like, and, we can't call them. There's no way of figuring out where they are.
Right.
And Dylan's like, okay, well, I'll just drive around waiting and seeing if I can find them. And I was like, okay. And turns out Alyssa and Brayden and Jimmy were in Log Lane in bathing suits, barefoot, no phones, knocking on people's doors.
Look like
and
refugees.
It's like, nobody would answer for them for the longest time. And Alyssa's like bawling her eyes out. She thought I died because there's a dam in there apparently.
Right.
And she was like, I don't know if our rubber ducky was in the dam.
And
was like, she was bawling her eyes out, knocking on these people's doors in Long Lane. It's like, can I borrow your phone? And finally, some really nice lady let her borrow her, the phone, and was like, and they're all looking at each other like, do you remember anybody's numbers? And they're all, no. And Alyssa's like, I don't know my sister's number. Like, I think she's dead.
Yeah.
And finally, they make their way back up underneath the bridge, going to Log Lane. And I don't want to say his name. An old cop that used to work for the police department there drives by. And it's like, hey, and we know him. And he was like, do you guys need help? Or, what are you guys doing? Like, you barefoot, you're in bathing suits. And she was like, nothing. We're just, we just floated the river.
Right,
trying to make it sound like nothing happened so that they're not trying to investigate anything. So I'm still waiting down at Riverside, waiting to hear anything. Because, Maddie ends up getting off of work. And is like, what are you doing? You're in a swimming suit. You only have one shoe on. And I'm like, yeah, we decided to float the river today. It was really hot, and we lost Alyssa, by the way. And so it was just awful. It probably took about 2.5 hours till Alyssa got there. Dylan Heisel ended up finding Alyssa and was like, she was just relieved that I didn't die in the dam. So, it's ditching the ducky. We couldn't take it.
There was a girl from Rush who actually passed away 2, 3, 4 years ago. I
think I remember hearing that. Yeah.
She because she went over, then never came back up, and she ended up drowning. It's dangerous stuff, man. So
yeah, I had no idea there was a dam.
That's where we used to start. We used to go play out there at that dam.
Really?
Yep.
In Pueblo at the reservoir, there's a cliff you can jump off of, like cliff diving.
Fun.
We were. Quick story. So we used to, for the club I worked at, they'd go out to the mountains for our summer barbecue for the club, and we'd drive down the mountain hammered. Don't do that, kids, by the way, not bragging. So drive down the mountain hammered, and my buddy Jack Severe goes, you guys want to see something cool? Yes.
Yes, please.
So we drive by the reservoir in this little road, we get out and we're walking, and Jack just starts stripping off, and then off the edge, and I'm like, did this dude just kill himself in front of us? You selfish son of a bitch. So we look down, he's laughing, and he jumped off this cliff. So I'm scared of heights. Usually I wouldn't do it, but I had enough beer in me to where I thought, this is a good idea.
Yeah, this is manageable.
And sure enough, so it was fun. We ended up getting busted, and it's a huge fine.
How far would drop?
100 feet, maybe.
Oh, I'd have a heart attack.
Maybe that's way more than I was picturing. 2
stories, maybe. Yeah, it's about 2 stories.
Wow.
That's not 100 feet by far, but
it's more like 25 feet.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I can't remember. No, it was maybe 75. It was a drop. It was a hell of a drop.
You're gonna split that difference now.
Yeah, no,
I gotta go up. I gotta go up.
I was drunk. Okay, it was. I had my glasses on, lost them in the river. But then the reason I brought it up was I heard about someone dying on them. Because Jack says you got to jump out. You have to jump, because they're obviously
not
rocks.
Down.
Yeah, you got to jump, away from this. Yeah, it was crazy. But when you're young, you don't care.
Yeah.
Well, when you're your age, you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I would care. Anything I don't even know. I can't even stand up on a balcony and look down.
Yeah.
I'm that afraid. I'll start shaking.
Right. But when 20 years out, you're gonna look back at some of the stuff you did and be like, no.
No.
Yeah, pass.
Probably.
No. Yeah, I guarantee you will. Am I wrong, Jen?
Absolutely not wrong.
It's crazy the stuff you're going to be shocked you live through.
Yeah.
When you get to our age. So, all right. What did you think about that, Jen?
I thought that one was also great.
Yeah.
I think I found a flub in it.
Oh, do you? You think you have one?
Maybe, yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so before we start guessing all that stuff, Allie, when we pick who has to guess first, we rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you rock, paper, scissors?
Like rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
She's a damn 4-pumper.
Yep,
Oh.
4-pumper.
All right. Well,
The shame.
we got
Dang,
a 4-pump
yeah,
now. You know you're dating a 3-pumper.
Yes, I think I did know that. Yeah, I'm a 3-pumper.
Imagine.
She's all typical. Women are
Typical.
4-pumpers, men are 3.
As Dancy always says, is it wrong for me to want one more?
There you go.
I gotta quote you, Dance. It's funny. Before we filmed these, we filmed some at the Emporium. It was Madeline Hagen and Megan Orcutt. They're doing the holistic fair coming up here on the 18th. And they rock, paper, scissors to see who had to go first. And so Matt goes, we're staring at them all creepy, right? Because we were waiting to see what they are. And they couldn't connect on it. One was a 3-pumper, one was a 4-pumper. And then, it's weird.
Isn't that so funny? And something we all grew up with so universal, it can be, well, it can divide a country. We're just going to put it that way.
Did you know there was a difference, Allie?
I honestly didn't until I started watching this. And I was like, I never really realized how I did it up until I started watching this. And I was like, making sure, I was like, is there a right way?
Right.
But I don't think there is. I was always just remembering the 4 pumps, I guess.
On TV, whenever they do the rock, paper, scissors, I always watch, and it's right down the middle. Some 4, some 3. So
yeah.
But she's a 4-pumper, so we're 4-pumping. You ready?
We're 4-pumping?
We're 4-pumping.
Okay.
Damn, Jen, you're kicking my ass today.
I'm 8-pumping over here.
Because you had the shirt on backwards. I think maybe it was good luck.
Hey!
We're going to rat you out for that one.
Sorry, Jenny. I love you.
I love you right
I didn't know
back.
this either.
Yes, indeed. I came in with my shirt inside out and backwards today.
At least they
I
pulled you to the
loved it.
side.
It's too early
At
anyway.
least they told me.
least they pulled
because
you
most
aside,
people
yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
They just let you be like, look at that asshole.
If I would want somebody to tell me, so that's why I do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, who dressed you this morning?
Me.
All right. Before we guess, though, I do want to say, if you do enjoy what you're seeing here today, hit that little subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner. It's a little red button. It's a little click for you, but a huge click for us. Also, we're at the Club Tap Room. Please make sure you support these guys and Picking Out Barbecue. You can find all the links below in the description. So support a local business. They're good people, and this is one of my favorite places to podcast. And we've done quite a few out here.
Yes,
Actually,
we have, and we love it every time.
And I appreciate it because Christine has to wake her ass up early to come out. So, when I'm a little
does.
late, I get the stink eye when I come in. So
She makes cinnamon rolls though too, so it's great for everybody.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, absolutely support this place and support the podcast. We appreciate it. So, and no matter what you're listening to it on, please leave a rating and review. So it's always fun to see what people think. All right, I lost, so I got to guess first.
Are you ready?
Yes and no. 3 great stories: Children of the Corn, Ditch the Ducky, and In the Dumps. Now, I'm gonna say In the Dumps is a true story because you did have a little emotion on your face when you were telling that story. So it was definitely a memory. So I think that's a true story. Children of the Corn. There's a lot of detail with that one. And that's a typical thing for the area. If you're from a small town, a farming community, that's not an uncommon story that everybody has. Everybody relates to that story in this area. I'm going to go with Ditch the Ducky. Now, the only reason I'm going with Ditch the Ducky is because I thought the other 2 were so true. They just, I didn't see any flaws in those. Ditch the Ducky, because you said it's half true, half made up. So I think that you might have been tubing down the river, but I think that maybe you didn't lose your sister that long, or maybe it wasn't that dramatic, or I don't know. Although you did call out Dylan Heisel. What's up, Dylan? So nice call out on that one for a little detail. But I'm going to go with Ditch the Ducky just for that reason.
Okay, and I also am going to go with Ditch the Ducky.
Okay.
Because at first you said you got stranded at Muir Springs, and I know exactly where that dam is right there. Then you said Alyssa was worried I was still waiting down at Riverside Park.
Okay.
So, that was the flub I caught. I'm going with Ditch the Ducky. Simply on that.
Okay. Do I reveal it?
Yeah,
for you guys?
let's see the board. In the Dumps. Oh,
In
my
the
God.
dumps, yeah. So, Ditch the Ducky was 100% true. I did end up in Muir Springs, and I don't know where the dam was, but we must have been so close to each other that we just didn't happen to run into each other still. So
What's not true about in the dumps?
in the dumps, Maddie's luggage didn't get taken, and nor was anybody tackled at the end of it. But I'm still afraid of flights, and the whole weather thing was completely true. The Southwest thing was true. It was just the dramatic part of it. It was still.
I guess you think about it, that'd be easy. If the cop, it's my bag, we'll open it up, and is that your bra? Are those your panties, my friend? You know what I'm saying? So obviously that's not your bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even the smallest detail, Maddie's luggage didn't make there. That can change your entire story for us, and it's so simple to detail.
Allie's Stroh, good
job.
Good job. I totally bet on the end of the dumps. You were very, there's a lot of emotion I thought there, so I thought this is the right one. So
I don't take carry-ons. So.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I do. I do.
Now it makes me want to with all the crap that's going on, people's luggages.
Right, because you don't be stranded with nothing.
That's like my biggest fear. I'm like, I want all my clothes. I have weird attachments to things, and you take all your favorite stuff to vacation. So.
Right.
Yeah. But that one's the lie.
I always have electronics with me too, like the iPad and stuff, and I don't want to ever lose that because that's you know what I mean, all your stuff's on there, you know.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, well, that was I'm impressed.
We were bullhugged.
I totally. But I have to ask you, were you nervous to do this?
Yeah.
Crazy nervous.
I just was like wanting my stories to be good enough. I guess.
That was great.
Just so you guys know, after she said that, every story is good enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No matter what you've got.
Just gotta dig deep into the old. Yeah.
Your experiences, your stories are, you know, I mean, because I guarantee, Allie, people have related to most of what you said today. Mm-hmm. Everybody out there, because they're pretty, I mean, a high school drinking story, an airline story, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I almost died story. I mean, those are pretty common. But but you do this again? Would you come back again?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it was fun, right? So I always ask that at the end of the podcast. For people that come on that are nervous, just watch the podcast. People will tell you they're nervous. They didn't want to. I've had to straight talk some people into it after they've agreed to do it. Mm-hmm. They're like, I don't want to. I'm like, just give it a shot.
Just do it.
We'll erase it. If you don't like it, we'll erase it. And I've not once been taken up on that. So
good.
That's pretty awesome. So, all right. Well, Allie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Jen.
Yes, this has been an absolute blast having you on, and somebody special to me as
Trish
well.
On. We have
need
to.
get
Maybe my
Trish
little
on.
sister. You know, maybe she has some untold stories.
There you go.
There you go. Well, listen, we'll see. Come on down, sister. I mean, everybody in the bloodline has to come down to this podcast. There's been a ton of them. So
if we could get the whole family, you guys would be the first whole family in the county. I wouldn't want to say down the hatch or tubes, but on the show.
Right.
We're just missing out of the Cujin clan. Cabri Stroh's the only one that hasn't.
Really?
Perez, Cabri Perez. Yeah, she's the only one. She's my holdout.
And I'll bet you Cabri's got some fun.
Yeah, she will. I think she's just super busy.
Sure.
Yeah. She's got the 2 kids now. She's working full time. So yeah, but Cabri, there's a challenge.
That's right, Cabri. We want you on the Bullhucker.
All right. So, thanks again, Allie, for coming on.
Thank
Jen,
you, guys.
Up your ass for beating me twice at paper, rock, scissors. What's going on today?
I don't know.
You still have one more. So
I'm
one more shot.
becoming a genius at rock, paper, scissors. I don't mean to brag.
Maddie, you're my last hope. So, anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Jenny.
Until next time.
Cool.
Easy peasy.